So yeah, we are freaking underway to a probably lighter leg day. And there's a very good reason why. So I have been doing an hour of stairs. Oh man, I went the wrong way. Whoops. Yeah, apparently this parking lot only goes one way, but we freaking made this work. Luckily, there's not a lot of people here. But I say a lighter leg day because I've been doing an hour of stairs every day. But since I'm also dropping my carbs, it probably was not the smartest move because we're essentially burning the candle at both ends. And there's a big difference between just fat loss and overall weight loss. So the plan for today, just legs. We're just gonna be hitting legs, no cardio, nothing. We just gotta let our system reset. And in addition to that, we're also gonna be having quite a bit of a cheat meal this coming night. This is gonna be the second refeed of the week. The first one was on Saturday. Well, I guess if you only count Monday or Sunday as the start of the week, then I guess this is the first refeed of the week. But yeah, so we're basically just trying to like let our system heal. We've been super inflamed, and I've also been since I've been doing stairs, my quads, my calves, and my abs, all from stabilizing on stairs, super freaking sore. So that's why I say this is gonna be a lighter leg day. It's mainly just to kind of move blood around. We're actually probably gonna put more of an emphasis on hamstrings today. Hamstrings and inner thighs, because I can't hit calves, maybe could do like one set of quads, but yeah, I'm thinking today we're just gonna be hitting hamstrings and maybe glutes, just to give my body the proper rest it needs. But I'm talking like 30-40 minute workout and then we're out, because man, yesterday it was even more of a strain on my body. I did a whole, so woke up, did fasted cardio. We did 40 minutes of stairs because I didn't have time to do the whole hour because I needed to go to work. And then we went to go hit arms. Then I got my blood taken, which takes a little bit of nutrients. And then I did another 20 minutes of stairs after all that. And so I looked in the mirror and I was like, whoa, I look leaner, but I also look just overall smaller, which is definitely what we don't want. So I'm just gonna let my body completely rest today, heal, hit some legs, and that's about freaking it. But yeah, I'm excited because we have IGF, YK11, those are both in the mail, I believe. But the reason why I'm so excited about this cycle in particular is because of the reconstituting factor that we're using for the IGF. So instead of backwater like we've been using, we found out that acetic acid has a chemical structure that parallels the IGF LR3 much better. And so the acetic acid is probably going to make the IGF a lot more effective this go around. So that just means more muscle, less fat, more endurance, better brain function. It's literally everything, because all IGF is doing is just shuttling the nutrients and partitioning them a lot more efficiently. So it's basically just making the nutrients a lot more effective. And it only does that with one, I think, non-essential amino acid, which is arginine. So that's the only change in the string of amino acids. And what arginine does is it opens up your blood vessels. So it, like I said, it makes the nutrients a lot more effective. So that's going to be a lot of fun. YK11, that's not changing. We're just taking capsules. That's pretty much the same. But that is coming up. So we're either going to do it this weekend, we're going to start on Sunday, or we're going to push the cut just a little bit more, get a little bit leaner for another week, and then go ahead with it. But we'll have to see how we look. It's kind of just up in the air, just seeing what we look like. You know, it's kind of a day by day thing. It's not like I'm like, all right, this is the exact schedule, you know, because it really depends on my body. And that's what I love about bodybuilding so much. It's like, it's a very much in the moment adjusting. It's not like you can't, I mean, you can try to like plan the perfect prep, but unless you have all the time in the world, which most people don't, like most people need to go to school, they need to go to work, they need to do all these things throughout the day, it's very difficult to like keep everything completely structured. I mean, especially like if you have family, friends, things where you're like going to gatherings, like it's tough, you know, it's like your schedule is always changing. But that being said, you can give a little bit of structure. Like I was talking to a client or an athlete of mine. I like to use the term athlete instead of client because that's what they are. They're athletes. I was talking to him a few days ago, and he was like, man, I really want to like stick to the meal plan and everything, but it's so hard with work. And so I gave him kind of like my rundown of how I do things. So essentially, like I'm not trying to like be super stringent about my meal prep. Like as long as I'm eating the meals about like 2 to 3 hours apart, and then I prep them, I actually have them, then I'm good. I'm a happy camper. But I gave him my strategy for like my work days and how I stick to it. So basically I get up, actually forget I even said that. I don't know why people say that. Like obviously you woke up. So I usually in the morning prep my first 3 meals on my plan, and then once I'm done with that, then I go ahead and I have my 3 meals at work. So I have them about like 2 to 3 hours apart, and I could try to space it. Like if I'm on a cut, I do it about 2 hours apart since it's a lot less food. And then if I'm on a bulk, then it's like 3-ish hours apart. But I have my meals at work, then I go train after work, and then I have my post-workout shake. And then once I have my post-workout shake, I kind of wait like 2 to 3 hours. And then in a perfect scenario, I'd have my 5th meal, and then I'd wait another 2 to 3 hours, and then I'd have my 6th meal. But you know, a lot of the time that's just not the case. So usually I combine my last 2 meals of the day, which on a cut, that's totally good. Like I don't have a lot of food anyways, so it won't make too much of a difference. But if I'm on a bulk and I need to down all that food right before I go to bed, it's just not fun. Like you're like lethargic. It can be like kind of tough to sleep because you have so many carbs in your system right before you go to bed. All this stuff. So that's where I'm like, all right, we might need to space it out just a little bit. And that's why I like keeping the structure throughout the cut and then on the bulk as well, because once you have it structured, it's just habit. Like it's like, oh, I'm kind of hungry right now, it's probably mealtime. So you kind of like train yourself to eat at certain times, and then your body starts to learn it, and it's like, all right, this is when we need to feed. So that is kind of like my work day eating schedule. And he said, cool, like I'll try it out. That sounds dope. So we're we're going to roll with that, see how it goes. And this was only a few days ago, so I haven't heard back from him, but I will definitely be asking how it goes, because once you have your meals locked in for the week, oh dude, life is just freaking awesome. Like, you just have a lot more energy throughout the day. You're just kind of enjoying stuff a lot more, because you're not like tired or hungry or like distracted for whatever reason. So that's kind of why I like eating the way I do. And it's the same thing with the meditation. You know, it's like I get up, I have my schedule, like first thing in the morning before I like brush my teeth or anything, meditate, then go about my day, and then, you know, lunch rolls around at work. I have about 30 minutes, so 20-minute meditation fits perfectly. So I go and do that, and then I'm done with the meditations for the day. And I gotta say, like, I've been reading up on the type of meditation that I do, or I do something similar. I wouldn't say that I do transcendental meditation exactly, because if you want an exact transcendental meditation practice, then like what's technically certified or like copyrighted as transcendental meditation, then you would get a teacher. Like, you go through a program, they're generally like $500 to $1,000, and then you learn like one-on-one from a teacher, and then they give you a mantra based on whatever your goals are, your background, all that fun stuff. But the reason why I say it's similar is because we're using a mantra to silently repeat to ourselves, but it's not like I went through any kind of training. Like it's all self-taught. I have ChatGPT, and then basically all I did was I looked up what questions do they usually ask you at these transcendental meditation programs. And so then I structured the questions, and you can find them in the description down below. And then, you know, it's whatever ChatGPT gives you. So it's like based on combing the internet, and like, what are you gonna get from all your Google searches? They're all comprised into that very, you know, into that mantra that you get from ChatGPT. So that's why I say it's not like an official transcendental meditation mantra. Like, it's just meditation, you know, at the end of the day. And the reason why I started this was because I wanted to practice transcendental meditation, but, you know, like I don't, like, I see the point in going through the training, but if you're just, you know, anxious or depressed or whatever, like, I want to give something that could really help with that. And so that's why I say, like, all this is completely free. You just plug that into ChatGPT, and there you go. Because not everyone has you know, $500 to $1,000 to shell out for a training, you know. So I don't want it to be excluded to those who are financially in the right position. Like, I want everyone to kind of have this opportunity. So it's not going to be the same exact thing that you get with transcendental meditation programs, but it's pretty close. Like, if I looked up the questions that they would ask at the program, I mean, chances are those are the same questions that they'll ask you. So as long as you answer in depth and honestly, then it'll probably give you a mantra that's pretty freaking accurate, and according to whatever your background is and, you know, your meditation goals. But the main reason why I do this style of meditation is because I've seen the best effects from it. I've done all sorts of meditations. I've done like loving kindness meditation, full body scan meditation. I've done even like, if y'all have heard of the book AWEHRNESS by Anthony DeMello, I've even done that meditation where it's basically just like an awareness meditation. It's like whatever's going on, you frame it with, it is whatever is within me there is whatever. So that's the whole framing of it. And I've even tried that with all these meditations, but it just didn't do it for me, because you're doing it constantly throughout the day. And I think meditation should be something that you do, like you train for, and then you're just free to live your life however you want to outside of those meditations. And not to say like you're, not free to do what you want, but like that, like if you choose to do these meditations, that's your choice. And so, but the whole point of them is so you can live more present and more free. And so that's kind of why I do them. I do them because I kind of struggled with, anxiety, overthinking mainly. Like I would just kind of get in my head about stuff. Like just, it was really hard for me to concentrate. Like all I wanted to do was just move when I was younger. Like didn't matter what it was, didn't matter what sport it was. I just wanted to move. And so that's where meditation really freaking helped. But yeah, so that's kind of where I'm coming from with all this. I don't know. It's definitely helped me. Definitely helped me for the most part. I've noticed a drastic difference in how I live my life now, just with how much easier it is to be present, and it actually feels like my brain is functioning properly, like I'm having coherent thoughts, and even like my speech right now. Like when I was younger, I would just get tripped up over my words. It wasn't like quite a stutter, but it was like I would just overthink things, and then it was tough for me to speak. I don't know if that makes any sense, but it was like I would just kind of overthink. That's pretty much it. But now it's like, I still have those bouts of overthinking, but I can move on from those a lot easier now. Like it's like I can see how it doesn't matter that much long term. And so that's the main reason why I meditate, because it's freaking fun. I just love to do it, like getting into that like blissful state twice a day, freaking awesome. And then two, it's a higher quality of life that I'm having with myself and with everyone else. And if you're even having a higher quality of life with yourself, I mean, you're gonna be with yourself for forever. I mean, that's a fact. Like people will come and go in your life, even people you hold extremely close. You're not gonna spend nearly as much time with them as you do with yourself. So might as well do things that bring you happiness. That's pretty much it. And meditation definitely opens the doorway to happiness a lot more often for me. So that being said, let's just go freaking crush some legs. Not too much though. We're just probably going to be doing some hamstrings today. Maybe a little recovery since we'll have a little more time. But I will see y'all for the post-workout pose down. All right, so let's see how we're looking. Alright, so that is freaking it for today. Gotta go get a refeed in, and then we got chest tomorrow. Alright, so we just finished up with a little bit of cardio, and before that we had some friggin' chest underway. It was a pretty short workout because we had an appointment, and then that appointment got canceled. But yeah, it's good overall. We definitely got a chest pump, so that was freaking good. But I think my main focus right now is to get a meditation in, and then we're gonna get some work done, and then go to sleep freaking early tonight. I am beat. The reason why I'm doing a second meditation later in the day right now, because it's 5:35 right now, is because at the start of today, I was exhausted. I actually got up, got onto the meditation cushion, and my allergies were getting to me so much that I could barely breathe out of my nose. And then on top of that, I was just yawning like crazy. Like, I was just beyond exhausted. So I just kind of laid back on the yoga mat and took like a 20-minute nap. And I don't want to say that did the trick, but it definitely helped quite a bit. So then we went to work, had our first meditation during lunch instead of our second meditation during lunch, and here we are. So this is going to kind of be like a vlog that rolls in to a meditation, or like a car talk vlog into a meditation. So that's kind of the deal that I'm freaking rolling with right now. And if you can't tell, I'm still having quite a bit of allergies, and it's rough. You know, I got 2 cats at home, and I'm pretty allergic to cats. And then it's also spring right now, so I kind of got all of those rolled into one. It kind of feels like a head cold today, but it's more so that I'm freaking tired. So that's what we're doing right now. But anyways, that is the freaking deal for chest today. What did we do? We did some heavy incline bench. So I did 185, well, heavy for me. Bench is my weakest lift, so these numbers won't sound too crazy, but I did 185 for a clean 7, and then I did 225 literally for 1 rep. But I kind of felt the hit in my strength today just from the exhaustion, so that wasn't too good. But anyways, still got it done. We still got pretty solid chest pump in. Yesterday I took a break from cardio in general because I did 3 days in a row where I was doing an hour of stairs, but I started the week at I think like 216 on Sunday, and then I ended up being like I think 211 weighing in yesterday morning. So that's way too fast. That's definitely more than just fat too. We were doing way too much. So definitely cut back on the cardio. We only did 30 minutes of stairs, and I feel a lot better today just because, you know, I was just freaking beat. Like I was just exhausted from doing that hour of stairs. So definitely do not recommend, if you're on your fat loss journey, just manipulate the food. Cardio doesn't need to change too much. Training doesn't need to change too much. It's literally just bringing down the carbs, and that's pretty much it. Or fats, you know, it kind of depends on what you prefer, and also what is optimized for your body, because I've also been thinking about that, where it's like you have counting your macros, and then you have actual nutrient absorption, which I believe is way more important than just knowing what your macros are. I mean, knowing your macros, that is like think of it like this, like there are different levels to this. Like you counting calories, let's say that's like level 2, because level 1 is just not caring, like just eating whatever you want. Level 2 is just counting your calories. So just being in a caloric deficit, it's fine, but you're not going to get too far if your goal is muscle gain and fat loss, because you need to know your macros. So that brings us to level 3, which would be macros. And then beyond knowing your macros, I would say meal plan is level 4. And meal plan, that takes into account not only your macros, but it also takes into account your nutrient absorption to an extent. So that brings us to level 5. So if you have meal plan, cardio, and training, and then also stress management and sleep, all woven into one, working together, that's as good as it gets, because nutrient absorption, it has to do with a lot of different things. It has to do with your insulin sensitivity. It has to do with what kind of protein you're ingesting. And then it also has to do with movement. So if you're not moving the nutrients around, you're probably not going to be absorbing them as well as you can. And so that's where things like, taking like a 15-minute walk after a meal can really help. Or just getting your cardio in every day and like keeping your heart rate at like above 130. That's also really cool. But that being said, nutrient absorption is where the magic happens. That's kind of, I don't want to say the end all be all, but as far as making progress, that is the most important factor. Because if you just have your macros set at a certain level, that's cool, but who's to say that all those macros are actually being used for whatever they're supposed to be used for, like protein with muscle building, carbs with giving you energy, fats with hormone production, list goes on. So that is kind of where I'm landing with a lot of this. Nutrient absorption is extremely important. So I'm going to do a little more research, because it's definitely a lot more complicated than that, and I want to learn a lot more about it. But I would say that's a good starting point, is, just kind of having that synergy. That synergy of movement, of the right amount of food, and then just, having like your sleep and your stress management all working together. But that's the freaking dealio. That is what I am dealing with right now. But anyways, other than this morning, I've been extremely consistent with doing my morning meditations, and this kind of meditation just works for me. It's super simple. I don't have to overthink. I don't have to think about anything. Or I should say, I have to think about the most minimal thing possible, which is just the mantra. So that's kind of a really big plus of a lot of this. With a lot of the different meditations, it's like, let's take like a body scan meditation for an example. So like, you might lose your place. You might be like, oh man, what am I supposed to be scanning right now? What am I supposed to be, whatever. With Transcendental Meditation, the version that I do, it's not exactly Transcendental Meditation, but it's pretty similar. With that, I just have to go back to the mantra. Like, it's not super difficult to, have to make a lot, I don't have to think about a lot. Like, it's like, oh, I'm on the inhale, that means I'm doing this mantra. Oh, I'm on the exhale, that means I'm doing this mantra. It's really not that complicated. And so that's what I like about it. It's not overwhelming. And I think it works very well for me, since I can definitely tend to overthink. Now, for like somebody who struggles with the other side of things, like not being like super anxious and overthinking like I do, but more so like depressed, like what's the point of life kind of thing, that I would say like a loving kindness meditation would really help, because it really like warms you up to the emotions that you're supposed to be feeling during a meditation. Because meditation's fun, it's like, I feel like a lot of people kind of think of it more so like, man, I gotta meditate. Nah, I'm not gonna do that. Because it's just boring, and you don't see like a lot of the effects immediately like you would with a workout. Like you go into the gym, you get a pump, and you get to see it right away. With meditation, it's more so, like I've talked about this before, it's more so like a mental and emotional pump. Like it's like you just feel freaking amazing. Like you feel like you're just, like everything's all right, and that's one thing that I've really, really enjoyed about it. It's just, I don't know. It's fun. Like, I don't know how to describe it. Like, I'm pretty much the only one out of my entire family who does meditation. But it's just something that really centers me, and it helps me with coherently thinking about everything. I mean, I don't know how to describe it. It's like I can remember a lot more, I can focus a lot more, I'm a lot more relaxed throughout the day, and even like just being creative, like that in and of itself is a lot easier when I'm meditating. Like I'm writing a book right now. It's a lot easier to kind of envision the characters and what they're supposed to be doing and their overall demeanor, because it's just easier to focus on it. Like it's easier just to kind of relax and let the story kind of flow through me, and that's where I'm really enjoying it. So anyways, yeah, that's pretty much the whole thing. And it's cool because they kind of did, like, all I'm thinking of right now is like the fact that they did brain scans about this, and it's like if you do, like, you have like two people side by side, one doesn't do, this is specifically for Transcendental Meditation, which I'll just shorten it to TM, just for, abbreviation's sake. So you have one person who does TM for, I think it was like 8 or 12 weeks. I don't know, there are a ton of studies on this that you can look up for yourself, but 8 to 12 weeks, one person does TM and the other person doesn't. They just live their life, don't do the meditation. The difference in overall brain coherence is freaking insane. Like just imagine you have like what's a good way to put it? Like you have like a, let's say you're sewing something, right? Like you're sewing like a sweater or something. You have part of the sweater done, like it's like kind of like fragmented, but you have like different lines for the fabric, right? That's the person who doesn't do TM. For the person who does do TM, it's like the whole sweater's done. Like it's all like interwoven and just like perfectly put together. Like that's the best way I can describe it, because you have just every part of the brain working together, from like the occipital lobe, which is like the back of your brain, to like the temporal lobes, which is like the side, to like your frontal lobe, your front. All of it's just working in this nice symphony you know, and it's really cool, you know. And so that's kind of what got me into it, was just seeing the research on that. I watched like a few YouTube videos. Look up, if you're really interested in this kind of stuff, John Hagelin, I think it's Hagelin, Transcendental Meditation, and he'll have a ton of stuff on this. He'll have like, it's basically like he just goes over everything, and it's pretty cool too, coming from his standpoint, because he's a theoretical physicist, and so he kind of parallels quantum physics with transcendental meditation. And long story short, he's just basically saying that you have these different thought processes, and it's like the mind gets quieter and quieter as you repeat this mantra to yourself. So once your mind gets completely quiet, that's when you get to this super or like pure consciousness, or like super unification. And then on the physics side of things, it's like you start from the macro, and then you go to the micro as far as all the particles go, and then you get to this super unified field, and that's where everything is interconnected. And so you kind of, it's interesting, like everything really is just kind of interconnected. So that's kind of where my curiosity is lying right now. But I'm gonna get some gas right now, and then I will freaking see y'all for a meditation. Alright, we have made it back home, and I couldn't freaking believe the gas prices. Even at the cheapest station near me, it was still like $5.59. Nuts. But anyways, I got a full tank of gas. Pretty grateful. So, sorry, one of my clients is texting me, kind of a thing. All right, we are going to be getting into freaking 20 minutes. Let's do it. And if you do want to meditate with me, check the description below. There will be a ChatGPT prompt that you can plug in and then meditate with moi. All right, ready? Boom. 3, 2, 1, let's get it. is a freaking wrap. Whew. Yeah, that was interesting. The meditation that I had earlier today definitely felt the time dilation. Like it literally felt like 5 minutes for a 20-minute meditation. But this one, complete opposite. That felt like freaking 40 minutes. It was, I don't know what it was. I think it's just the fact that I'm tired and a little on the grouchier side. And so, yeah, I tend to be like, when I'm a little more tired, I notice that's when I'm a little more impatient. And so it's weird how, just your emotions can freaking change a lot about the nature of the meditation, including, how short or long it may feel. But anyways, yeah, that was just freaking good. Anyways, I hit a few sweet spots there where I was just at a very deep rest. And yeah, those are the quiet moments that I'm talking about. Like when you feel like that pure consciousness, like that pure unification. It's at those moments when there are just freaking no thoughts and it's just purely awareness. Like you're aware of the thoughts that are happening, but it's not like you're actively thinking them, if that makes any sense. Like it's like you're aware, but there's no self. Like there's no ego, So anyways, that is it for today. I will see y'all for shoulders tomorrow and probably a sweet freaking meditation. But yeah, that's it, y'all. I'll see you then.